Welcome everybody to day 16 of our conversations around the Dream Chaser in honor of National Black Business Month. We have been profiling the book, The Dream Chaser by Mr. Tony Gaskins with the subtitle, If You Don't Build Your Dream, Someone Will Hire You to Build Theirs. Today we are talking about being hands-on when it comes to your dream and how that strategy is actually going to be able to be built and take effect. So if you are wondering how hands-on you need to be inside of the dream that you're building, inside of the business that you're creating, inside of whatever it is that you have your heart's desires on, you have landed on the right live stream tonight, because we are going to be jumping into our conversation to figure out exactly what that is. So I want to welcome you inside of the DDTV room. Hit the like button as you enter inside, and then not only that, get your notepads, your papers, and your books ready, because we're going to have a healthy conversation tonight. So if you're ready, let's go.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone.
Hello, everyone. I am Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. What an honor and privilege it is to be before you all for yet another live stream night here on the Debt Demolisher TV, as we continue our conversations and covering none other than the Dream Chaser. If you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to help build theirs, by Mr. Tony Gaskins. We have been reading this book for the entire month of August. Can you believe that we're now on day 16 of our readings? How amazing is that? But we have been honoring Mr. Tony Gaskins by reading one of his books on the Debt Demolisher TV, 8 to 9 pages at a time. And then each day as we read, we convene and we come together here at 7 p.m. Eastern time to have a healthy conversation and a dialogue around our reading. So I'm excited to be before you all, and I want to welcome you inside of Trust Fund Tuesday, because that is our wonderful theme for today. So speaking of Trust Fund Tuesdays, let's just make sure that we take some measures in place, even if it's just a small step, to begin to work on our estate planning documents. One of the things that we don't want to do is be in a situation where we have not planned for the inevitable, or we have not been properly caught up on knowing where our documentations are, or letting other people know where our documentations are, or having proper insurance, or having proper directives on file. It's imperative that we have this stuff together. So if it's just as simple as you getting your beneficiaries updated, if it's just as simple as you doing research on specific life insurance policies, if it's just something as simple as scheduling a meeting with an estate planning attorney, I want to encourage you to do that, because it's only going to work out not only to your benefit in the future, but to the benefit of your family and your loved ones later on down the line. Trust me, because it's not fun to deal with when you don't know where things are. So I'm excited to be before you all. In tonight's live stream tonight, we're going to be talking about the strategy, and is your strategy hands-on? So how can we stay in the work in order to protect the dream that we're building and that we're curating and that we're forming? This is why it's so important for us to remain somewhere in the scope and don't completely just let everything go, because you have to be able to protect what it is that you're building and creating. We're going to talk a lot about that as we read chapter 11 of the hands-on strategy, which is chapter 11 of the Dream Chaser. So make sure that you pick up your copies of the book, because we still have a lot more time, a lot more reading to done. We're about halfway through the book, just about halfway through. So you still have time to join us as we have our readings as well as our live stream discussions. But before we start our conversation tonight, let me go ahead and see who is in the DDTV live stream room on tonight, because you know I love to greet the family. I love to greet everybody that comes on inside. And first, we got Sherry in the room that says, "Hey everyone, hey Sherry, so good to see you. Welcome on into this room. I am so glad that you are here. Hey, so let's go, Sherry. Let's go, Sherry. Let's go, Sherry. Let's go, let's go, let's go, Sherry. Let's go, Sherry. It's the income, Sherry. Let's go, Sherry. Hey, let's go, Sherry. So glad that you're in the room. So glad that you're here. And thank you for being the first in and greeting us with your wonderful wave. We appreciate you and we see you, Sherry. Let's go. We got Q Scott in the room, says, welcome everyone to day 16 of our discussion of Tony Gaskin's book, The Dream Chaser. If you're just coming in, make sure that you download your audio copy of the book from Amazon. That is right, because even those of you who have the Amazon copies, meaning you have the audio version, guess what? I'm letting you know where your starting points and your stopping points are, so you're fully aware, and that way you could always be in alignment with us, for those of us who have the hardcover books, or for those of us who have the Kindle versions that we're actually reading. So you are set. So if you want the audiobook, get the audiobook, listen up to chapter 11, and you'll be good to go. Okay, you'll be good to go. You'll be all caught up. I'm loving it. But hey, Q Scott, hey, 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 Q Scott, let's go, let's go. Hey, Q Scott, hey. Hey, 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 Q Scott, let's go, let's go. Hey, Q Scott, hey, 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 Q Scott, pass it to Bria. Hey, Q Scott, hey, 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 Q Scott, pass it to Bria. Oh, let's go, Q Scott. So glad that you're in the room. And hey, Bria, if you're watching on the replay, so glad that you're here. So glad that you're watching. So glad that you are Q Scott's baby girl. Let's go. We got to stand up for Bria in the room, and she's watching the replay all the way in college, okay? Because I think they went back to school. I think school has started, because I've been seeing stuff of people getting back on campus and all that good stuff. So shout out to Bria if you're back in school and college, okay? Let's go. Let's go. We got Lisa Smile says, I love the hand wrap. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. So I cheated a little bit, because I know you were showing us how to do the proper head wrap when we're trying to like preserve our 2-strand twist. That was a really good live stream that you did last night too. So thank you for that. But I cheated a little bit, because this isn't like really like a tie headband. This is just one of those stretchy ones that looks like I tied something, but I ain't do nothing but just trying to preserve and hide all the puffiness that's happening up in here, because y'all, the flexi rods is getting a little puffy. It's getting a little puffy. It is getting a little puffy, but I'm trying to hold on to these curls as long as I can, so I can look halfway decent when I get up on this live stream. Okay. But shout out to Lisa Stiles. I'm so glad that you're in the room. Thank you so much for the compliment. And hey, oh wait, no. Look, I'm getting y'all songs mixed up. I said, hey, La Lisa, I do it, Lisa. Hey, La Lisa, I get it, Lisa. Sliding on through with the blow butters. I said, sliding on through with the blow butters. I said, hey, La Lisa, I do it, Lisa. Hey, La Lisa, I get it, Lisa. Sliding on through with the blow butters. I said, sliding on through with the blow butters. Let's go, let's go. We got Lisa Smiles in the room, originator and the creator of the infamous glow butters. If you have not got yours, please make sure that you grab some so that you can try it for yourself. And you can find that at Styles with a Z by Lisa Smiles with a Z.com. Get your some. Come on, Lisa Smiles. I'm so glad that you're here. And also make sure that you subscribe to Lisa Smiles channel, because she's giving us all the hair jams and she's allowing us to have all the keys. And not only that, she be giving us a word over there. So let's go. Come on, Lisa Smiles. She says your curls are still looking good. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I'm trying to hold it up. Your bonnet has definitely been helping to keeping it up. Come on. I wear my Lisa Smiles bonnet around my head every night. So it's been holding it up. So I thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, Lisa Smiles says, DDTV fam. Hey, DDTV fam. So good to see you in the room. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Sherry got to hit that DDTV jingle, because she already know I came in the room and I came singing her jingle. So she had to drop the jingle emoji. Shout out to Sherry for putting the jingle emoji in the stand in the chat. I appreciate you. Queen Lisa H is here. She says, greetings, DDTV family. And she got the takeoff stand. I said, Queen Lisa H got that takeoff stand. She ready to go. Let's go. She trying to go. Let's go. She got that takeoff stand. I said, Queen Lisa H got that takeoff stand. Let's go. If you don't know what the takeoff stamp look like, I'm going to pull it up so you can see. I'ma pull it up so you can see. I'ma pull it up so you can see. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so excited that you guys are here today. Come on, y'all. Come on. Q Sky had her takeoff stamp and she got her jingle stamp in here. I'm loving to see it. I'm loving to see it. I said a killer is in the room. I said a killer can't slide in the room. No, I can't sing like her, but I'm gonna try to blow these tunes like her. I said a killer is in the room. I said a killer came in singing in the room. No, I can't sing like her, but I'm gonna try to blow these tunes like her. Let's go. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. Akila, welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. Thank you so much. Lisa Smile says it's still cute. Thank you. I'm trying to hold it on. I'm trying to hold it on. I'm trying to hold it on. Q Sky says, Akila, are you able to see the retreat chat? Yes, y'all. We're trying to coordinate. Shout out to the DDTV retreat committee. Shout out to Q Scott. Shout out to Acacia. Shout out to Lisa Smiles. They have been putting in the work behind the scenes. We're trying to get this retreat set up. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so amazing. So for those of you who are interested and have said yes, that you want to be a part of the DDTV retreat, this is going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. So if you've been able to get the communications, please, please, please respond, because these ladies have been working hard on trying to get everything coordinated, and it's just being awesome and amazing. So we would love to have your presence. We would love you to grace us with your presence. You know who you are, because you already said yes, that you wanted to at least hear more information, or that you're interested in going. And so because of that, we just ask that you get your input in, so that way we can account for you. You know, come on, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Lisa Smiles got her jingles in the room because she heard her jingles being said. Come on, come on. I love it. 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 Hey, Acacia. I go, Acacia. Let's go, Acacia. Hey, Acacia. Let's go. 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 Hey, Acacia. I go, Acacia. Hey, Acacia. Come on. Let's go, Acacia. Let's go, 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 let's go. We got Acacia in the room. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. Acacia says, greetings, DDTV family. Greetings, Acacia. We are loving that you are with us on tonight. Come on. Q Sky says, we have a time-sensitive message. We have a time-sensitive DDTV alert. So please, if you are a part of the retreat recipients, or the retreat, the retreat chat that we have going on, if you want to participate in the retreat, please, please, please check our designated communication pool, which is the GroupMe app, so that way you can be caught up and we can get your input, because we have some missing names and we need some dates and we need some confirmations on some things. So by all means, please, 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 we got a 9 o'clock deadline. That means you got 2 hours. Less than 2 hours to respond. So I can give you a pass if you want to go ahead and exit this live stream and check that chat, so that you can get back, because I don't want no trouble with the committee. I don't want no problems with the committee. So if you need to exit stage left, check the GroupMe, read through it, confirm, and then slide back on in here. By all means, you got time. Let's go. I said Queen Heart is in the room. Yes, she is. I said Queen Heart is in the room. Yes, she is. I said Queen Heart is in the room. Yes, she is. We got Queen Heart in the building. We got Queen Heart in the building. Where she from? Straight from NY. Ain't that right? Okay. Straight from NY. Ain't that right? Let's go. We got Queen Heart in the building. Yes, we do. We got Queen Heart in the building. There she goes, straight from NY. Ain't that right? Straight from NY. Ain't that right? Queen Heart, so glad that you're here. She says, welcome to the TV fam. Hey, Queen Heart, so good to see you. Welcome on into this room. I am so glad that you are here. Come on, y'all. Y'all are lighten up the chat today with your jingles. So whenever you hear me sing your jingles, feel free to put the jingle emoji in the chat so that you can stand all the way up and represent. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I love it, 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 I love it. Acacia says, subscribe to Sophia's mailing list to stay up to date. Yes, y'all, I just realized I need to send an email blast out. Y'all know I don't send a lot of emails out. I try to send it out at the first of the month, but I need to make sure that I'm informing people of this event that I'm going to be a part of next month. So I definitely need to put out another email blast, and I probably should have did it already. But it's going to get done this week. It's going to get done this week. It's going to go out this week. I got to make sure that. But yes, so if you want to know about the event that I'm going to be a part of next month, go ahead and click that link right there. Click that link right there and get your name on the email list. You know, I promise I'm not going to bombard you. I promise I'm not. And if you don't want to get the emails, you could always unsubscribe by all means. Thank you for creating space when you unsubscribe. Okay. Queen Haw says, yep, I don't want no beef. I don't want no beef because the committee ain't playing. The committee is not playing. Not near one of them. They ain't playing. They ain't playing. I am not trying to be on that chopping block list. All right, Queen Heart got her jingle stamp. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, I got everybody. Thank you, Acacia. Acacia says top right X and then top left and hit that like button. Certainly does help the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. But if you don't want to, that's all fine too. All right, just as long as you get this message that we get ready to go over today. Amen. Sounds like a plan. Let's start with chapter 11, everybody. So we have been reading The Dream Chaser by Mr. Tony Gaskins. If you're not subscribed to Mr. Tony Gaskins' channel, make sure that you do so because he drops all kind of gems today. He drops all kind of gems almost every day. He drops all kind of wisdom and insight. Has over 1,000 videos on his channel that we could all indulge and get not only a word about relationships, but a word about our faith and even a word about our business. So make sure that you subscribe to Tony Gaskins' YouTube page. Links are down in the description box. More than likely, Q Scott or Acacia, they'll drop the links to Tony Gaskins' page as well inside of the chat. But we also have links inside of the description box of this video that will take you to Tony Gaskins' YouTube page. That'll take you to his Instagram page. That'll take you to his Twitter page. That'll take you to his website, TonyGaskinsAcademy.com, as well as TonyGaskins.com for books and booking and so forth. So yes, you guys. Tracy Ann is here. Hey, Tracy Ann, so good to see you. Welcome on into this room. I'm so glad that you are here. You slid it right in the bank. You slid it right in the bank. You slid it right. You slid it right in the bank. Hey, all the way from the west side, staying all the way up. And I'm hoping that you're having a great week with school starting back up. Yay! Shout out to Tracy Ann for educating our babies. Educating them kids, educating the kids. She says, I just got home. Well, you landed right on time because we're just getting ready to get started. My energy is on 5,000 today, Tracy Ann. So if it's extremely excessive, I apologize in advance. But I'm just feeling good today. Is that all right? Is that all right that I feel good today? I feel like I'm on fire. Chapter 11. The hands-on strategy. So we're starting on page 135 of the Dream Chaser book. So if you have the book, you know you can go to page 135. If you have the audio book, then you know we started on chapter 11, the hands-on strategy. Hopefully you guys have been finding a way to take notes and journal through things if you have the audio book, because for me, I circle, I write in the margins, I take notes, I do all of these things in the blank spaces because it's honestly, you guys, I get a lot of ideas. Like when I'm reading stuff, I get a lot of ideas and I like write it in the margins or I write it on the blank pieces of paper and I ask myself specific questions and it just helps my mind go, oh, and then I end up thinking of all of these things and I end up writing it down. But the main thing that I have to do is after I write it down, it need to not stay inside of this book. I need to be doing something about it, but we're going to talk about that. Maybe that's going to come up when we get to the what this Saturday, Design with Me live stream working session. So if you're available on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, I want to invite you in the room with us for the Design with Me live stream so that we can really be hands on. So opening up the chapter, Tony Gaskins says that you can be a one-man show, but have a lot of virtual assistants, interns, or other people who delegate everything out to, who you delegate everything out to. He says for him, he likes to be involved in his work. He says, if you're going to work, then why not work? Come on. If you are going to work, that should have been the quote of the day, but it wasn't. But if you are going to work, then why not work? If you are going to work, then why not work? That was powerful. So I was working today. I feel like I've been working all week. I mean, I feel like I work a lot, but I feel like I've just been like intentional with my work. I feel like I was just like, okay, I'm not about to have these buckets of times or when I do this and when I do this. I'm like, all right, when I see it, I'm just going to respond. When I see it, I'm just going to do this. When I see it, I'm just going to get right back, because if it come in, let me just get it out of my way so I can move on to something else. Let me just handle it. Let me just handle it and start letting it pile up. Because if I'm going to work, then why not work? If I'm going to get paid to work, then why not work? Amen. I was cranking them out today. I had a presentation and everything. Come on, somebody. I had a presentation and everything. Slides was exceptional. I even stood up because I got an ergonomics desk, even though I'm working from home today. I stood up the whole presentation. My energy was on fire today, y'all. I've been hype all morning. To God be the glory. I've been hype all morning. Okay, so he continues on by saying, do you want to be rich and relaxed, or do you want to have an impact? We talked about this week. We talked about the importance of recognizing your reasons for what you're doing and not necessarily focusing too much on the money per se, but the impact of it. Come on. Who you reaching? Come on. Whose life are you changing? Come on. What kind of insight are you giving to somebody that can help change their whole situation? Whew. Amen. The impact is what matters. The impact is all that matters to me. Amen. The impact is all that matters to me, because I know I'm going to get paid regardless, because I got a good profession. So if I know worst comes to worst, I mean, it's already been happening anyway. So I just got to keep focusing on the impact. Amen. Oops, I hit the mouse. I'm too hyped today. He also says, if you just want to be rich and travel, then the hands-on strategy is not for you. So let's evaluate this for ourselves. Some of us may have an idea what we may feel like our dream is. Some of us may just be trying to figure it out. But if you just want to relax, if you just want to be rich, if you just want to travel, then being hands-on in your craft, being hands-on in your dream may not be the route for you. That's what Tony Gaskin said, not me. That's what we're reading from page 135. He continues on by saying, if you want to have an impact and you want to be active and enjoy your work, then you have to be hands-on. Are you willing to be hands-on? Are you willing to get down in there, dig your hands all the way in the dirt, all the way in the soil, and be down in the ground, be down at the root? Come on, hands-on, in there toiling, in there digging, in there patting the dirt, putting the seeds in and just patting it, getting your hands dirty. Are you willing? I just see Divinity. Queen Divinity says hi, Divinity. What Divinity? I got to sing to Divinity. Come on. Divinity said, greetings, Divinity. I was thinking about you and I was praying about you and Daddy Thurman. So I'm praying that Daddy Thurman is doing well, Divinity. I'm just praying that Daddy Thurman is just feeling a little bit better today. And I'm praying that you and your family are feeling better too around the situation. Because, God don't make no mistakes. God don't make no mistakes. So I want to encourage you to be encouraged on today. But Queen Divinity says, Great evening, Queens. Well, great evening to Queen Divinity. So glad that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome on into this room. I am so glad that you are here. And when you come in here next time, I want to see you shaking it on the dance floor. A Queen Divinity shaking it on the dance floor. A Queen Divinity shake, 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 shake. Do it on the dance floor. A Queen Divinity shake it on the dance floor. A Queen Divinity shake, 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 shake. Shake, get it on the dance floor. A Queen Divinity. Hey, so glad that you're in the room, Queen Divinity. Welcome on into the room. You right on time. You right on time. Okay, page 136. I got a revelation because I circled this piece just based on kind of what I do and thinking about my line of business and changing some things. Because I told you guys I got a lot of ideas that has been coming forth. And I think I shared that I got an idea in the middle of us being on Tony Gaskin's Saturday school this past Saturday. And it just like hit me like a deer with the what is it? Deer with the in headlights, whatever you want to call it. Like that. I was like, it almost took my breath away. But then the Lord convicted me. He told me not to move in haste. He told me not to move in haste because I moved in haste the last time. So he's just ponder on this, but don't let it sit idle. But don't step on the gas too fast. So don't leave it in park. Don't be on the break for 7 hours. Don't be on the break for 13, 14, 15 days straight. Don't be on the break. And don't accelerate. Don't go from 0 to 100 real quick. Because a lot of us move in that way when we may have a feeling about something, or even it may be a great idea. But we're so quick to get to the end result of that idea without processing the journey. And then we jump 5 steps, we jump 10 steps ahead instead of jumping 2 steps ahead. And then because we're thinking 10 steps ahead, we haven't even been able to build the skill set to manage steps 1 through 9. And then when we get to step 10, everything gonna start to crumble because it's not sustainable. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but today the word is gonna come out. The word is gonna come out. Okay, so he says that he was coaching or consulting with a professional basketball player. So basically, he was a counsel to a basketball player, giving him advice. And he mapped out this whole thing. He talked through this whole thing, how this guy had this idea, wanted to do this, wanted to do that. But he was so busy. He wouldn't have time for this. So he put his trust completely into whoever he hired to do that particular job or do that particular thing that was needed or that was necessary. And Tony Gaskins had to paint the picture for him a little bit, if we could just say it that way. He had to paint the picture for him to allow him to see that, yeah, there are times and instances where you do want to operate from a place of trust. But one thing I learned personally as being an accountant and being an auditor specifically is that we always trust but verify. So you could trust what somebody says, but where's the evidence to back it up? So if they say something, I need to see your evidence. Show me. If you say this is your process, if you say this is what you do, if you say that this is how you reconcile, if you say this is how you vet things, then I need to see the support behind it. And if you can't substantiate it, what does that mean? You probably going to get an unqualified opinion. What does that mean? You probably going to get a disclaimer opinion. What does that mean? You probably going to have a material weakness. Come on, somebody, because if I find a discrepancy, I have to extrapolate that over the population, even though I only tested a small sample. So one small bad sample, one small bad transaction can have a lasting effect that can take your whole business down, that can take the whole financial credibility of your business all the way down. So you may be overlooking one thing by putting all of your trust in a person's staffing capability, a person's skill set, a person's wit, a person's personality, but you ain't checking after their work. You're not verifying anything that they do. You're not pulling your own stuff on the back end without them knowing and then questioning them on things. No, you put your whole trust in them. And that is not how management works. That is not how proper ownership works. That is not how stewardship works. You got to oversee. You got to oversee. And you have to have a way to put checks and balances in place. Because you have to trust, but you got to verify. You have to trust, but you have to verify. And I think this is a fine line when it comes to management and when it comes to, I don't want to say leadership, because leadership in my eyes is more so around forward thinking and thinking about process improvements and thinking about how to make things grow and be better, but still have a strong foundation. Whereas management is making sure that things are doing what it's supposed to do, making sure that processes are acting as if it's supposed to do. And you're making sure that you're checking over the work, or you're checking over the actions of whatever it is that you have a responsibility to report out on. Oh, that was a whole word. That whole scenario right there could tie to not only your finances, it can tie to how you raise your children, it can tie to how you take care of your parents, it can tie to how you manage your finances, it can tie to how you manage your friendships and relationships, all right there. Tony Gaston says, I believe in doing your own work when you're building from the ground up. Is anybody else building from the ground up? Starting from the bottom. Starting from the bottom. Starting from the bottom. Starting from the bottom. We may not be where we want to be, which is here yet, because we still at the bottom. And when we're at the bottom, we have to be willing to get our hands dirty just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Tony Gaskin said that the person who he was counseling, well, what's that? Advising. I'm going to say advising, or coaching, rather. He says, well, what about the creative process? Because this guy was focused on the creativity of things and not really wanting to be in the weeds, even though it was something that he was starting from scratch. And he wanted to focus on the creative, the design, the end, the painting, the canvas, the finished product. He wanted to focus on that. And Tony Gaskin said that he told him this. He said, I told him that the creative process has to be factored into his daily work. Who needed that lesson? Your creative process has to be factored into your daily work. Into your daily work. He continues on by saying, you have to find the time period when you create the best and then block that time off as your creative process. And I remember specifically stating this about identifying when I'm most creative and when I'm most thoughtful and when things just really flow out of me. And I was sharing with you guys how that time is normally when I'm at my 9 to 5. So when I read this part, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's my challenge, because I know my creative time, like when my mind works the best, is during the day. And during the day, I'm at the 9 to 5. But I had to remember what Tony Gaskin said in the previous chapter around treating your off days like your business days. So if I work a 9 to 5 job, then I need to treat my days off from my 9 to 5 job as my 9 to 5 hours on my business, on my dream, on my vision, on my purpose. So I said, if I know that my creativity time is during the day, Monday through Friday, that is occupied, that doesn't mean that Saturday and Sunday is off the table. So instead of me looking at, I don't have that time, I had to redirect my conversation and say, well, where is it? It's available on Saturday and Sunday. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on the available time where you know that you're going to be able to use that hour, use that time frame or window on a day that's actually going to be available for you. And then you find time, like he says, find the time period and block that time off as your creative process. So what does that mean for me? Monday through Friday, I have a schedule. I have a block of time that is for the generation and the sustainability of my livelihood. No way around that. Saturday, Sunday is available to me to do whatever I want. So if I know that my creative time is during the day, then on Saturday and Sunday, I need to be looking at my schedules to see where am I going to block that creative window time off. So what it may mean, and it could mean, is that the things that I was doing on the Saturday and Sunday may have to shift and maybe move lower down in my schedule so that it's not taking up my creative time, where my creative time is the place where I can be able to write my books, I can be able to study, I can be able to create more content. Yeah, I can be able to create more content. I can just really thinking about the future and the legacy and the blueprints and the plans of the dream that I'm building, like literally putting myself on an office hours for my dream on Saturday and Sunday. How much time am I willing to commit? How much discipline am I willing to put in a way where it may require me to sacrifice just a little bit more? But here's what I learned, and here's what I tell myself, that your sacrifice comes in seasons. So you can sacrifice in seasons for different things. So I feel like a portion of the sacrifice that I had to have when dealing with my mom, that rough season has subdued, because the Lord has given me a window of relief. Not saying that it's going to be 100%, because things could change. But one thing that I'm recognizing is that I have to appreciate that window of sacrifice that I had to endure during 2021, as well as in the beginning of 2022, trying to really heal and get over and move forward and recoup from all of the stuff that was going on, is that season of hardship is not a season of hardship right now. So I need to be in gratitude for the season of sacrifice that has now laid to rest for this time. Now, maybe another sacrifice that may be getting ready to be down the line, or it may even be a sacrifice right now that I'm not even recognizing that I should be sacrificing. But it's not the same sacrifice. It needs to be a different sacrifice for a greater purpose. Because some things can be a sacrifice that you can't control, and some things can be a sacrifice that you can control. So sacrifice comes in the seasons. Comes a season. It's not always. Is the point that I'm trying to make. It's not always. It'll eventually wear out. He continued on by saying, when you block off that time for your creative process, and then in the other hours of the day, block off that time to do the groundwork. So the groundwork are the things that you have to stay involved in. The groundwork is the thing that basically creates the foundation for whatever it is that you're doing. It allows you to formulate your checks and balances, because if you're not at the groundwork, if you're not at the ground level, then you're not even going to know what to look for. Come on. When you're not at the ground level, you're not even going to know what to look for. Even if you think about it from this perspective, think about it from a hierarchy. Even if you are a manager now, you were once a non-manager. Even if you are a manager now, you were once at the ground level of whatever job you did, period. At some point in your life, some point in your career, you come in at the bottom because you need to learn their ropes. You need to learn their processes. You need to learn their systems. So you literally come in like not as a seasoned person, not as somebody who's been around. So when you first come in, you learn the systems, you learn the processes, you actually do the work, you get the hands-on experience. Even if somebody tries to train you on the job training, granted, somebody can only sit over you for only a certain amount of time. And as you begin to do the work yourself, that is when you're going to be able to learn, oh, I need to look for this. Oh, when this happens, that's going to trigger this event. So I need to make sure that I'm letting this person know. Oh, when you run this report, it'll give you this output. And then I know that this output is going to be needed by this division. It's going to be needed by this office. It's going to be needed by this support team. Oh, this staff person is going to need this because they need this analysis. Why? Because we don't all just do one thing for the sake of doing one thing just for ourselves. Everything that you do in your work impacts somebody else, no matter how you look at it. So when you begin to get in the groundwork and understand the baseline level of things, it will really make sense. You'll be able to understand it from cradle to grave. So why do you think your managers, or even if you're a manager, I'm pretty sure you go to your subordinates and say, hey, what is this now? Or what is this? Or what is that? And like, what does this mean? Or what will happen if we don't do this? Oh no, you're going to have to do this, or else we're going to have a bigger issue because of X, Y, and Z. The manager wouldn't know that because they're not in the weeds of making the processes, or making the actual payments, or doing this particular transaction, or running this specific analysis. They're not at that level of detail. So they don't really know what the implications would be, because they haven't had to play those roles. They didn't have to run that play at all, especially if they have no wherewithal of what's happening on this particular side of the house. Because some people come in as a senior leader or senior manager, and they expect whoever's under them to figure all of the rest of the stuff out. So even when you come in, you start from the ground. You start from the ground, and you have a greater advantage when you start from the ground. And when you start from the ground, you learn the ins and outs, and you know where to put checks and balances in place. So what Tony Gaskins was trying to express to this guy was that, yeah, you can be creative all day. You can have your creative time, but you have to know the baseline so that you can even know what you're hiring people for. And then to make sure that not only nobody is taking advantage of you, nobody is trying to cheat you, but you also know how to question things and improve their skill set as well, whoever you're even hiring to bring on the job. Because we just can't say, just take their word for what it is. What are you thinking about it? What are you thinking about what they're showing you? What are you thinking about what they're putting down on the table? How are you checking it? That's risk. That's why we have audits, because people misreport stuff, people make mistakes, people embezzle money, people do all kinds of things. And when it comes to business, you have to protect your baby. because it's your vision, it's your dream, it's your idea, it's your purpose. And even though you may bring somebody in, it's not their purpose. And we don't know what's going on in their life that may trigger them to want to begin the thievery. We don't know. We don't know. And then people wonder why, and I'm trying to tie this like to a credit thing because it just kind of popped in my head. But I remember I was giving a presentation and I was sharing the impacts of credit and why it's so important and why people don't realize that your credit score could actually keep you from getting a job. It could actually cost you your job if you already have one, depending on what type of work you do. Because if you get into a space where your credit score has plummeted, that's an indication that you have poor financial behaviors or something happened that is causing you to mismanage the funds that you have, especially if you already have a job. So if you're not paying your bills that you took out, that you signed up for, and you have a job with the company, and it's time for you to get your clearance, you can lose your clearance. Especially because you're looked at as risky. Because if you having financial problems, then that means you can steal from me. And if you have access to accounting records, if you have access to account profiles where people sending money in, and you could set up fraudulent accounts and have money going into these different places, you could be stealing from the company. And that's the first indication. If people having financial issues, they're going to try to find a way to get alleviated. And if they have access to cash within a business or some type of process that could easily lead to money going in and out, what makes you think that they're not going to try their hand if they need a little bit of help? It's been done too many times. And that's why people get let go when they have low credit scores and they lose their clearance. That's why some people can't even get a job in a specific field if their credit score isn't where it's supposed to be, because you're too risky for them. You're too risky for them to even hire you. He begins to talk about profit margins. This was the example that he gave about starting a store. And what if you started the store and you hire somebody to do the research for you, and then they say, oh, well, if you go through me, I can get it cheaper for you. They charging you $40,000 or whatever the case, and then you pay them. He just gave the whole scenario. It's in the book if you read it. But that's a prime example of what can happen, because everybody is not honest. Everybody does not have integrity. Everyone is not ethical in business. Unfortunately, people get cheated out of their money. Unfortunately, people get paid and don't finish the job. Unfortunately, people lie out of greed. They do. Tony Gaskins gave a whole strategy on page 137. Out of respect for his art, I'm not going to read it verbatim, because if you have the book, you should have it. If you have the audio book, you would have heard it. But on the middle of page 137, he talks about the instructions that he gave to this person who he was coaching and who was consulting him for advice. He told him what to do. He literally gave the strategy of what it looks like to be hands-on. And being hands-on, not from a space of, oh, I just feel like I'm doing medley work, but being hands-on because you want to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of. You want to make sure that people are not getting over on you. And sometimes we make those fast moves, or we make those fast decisions because we have to make a move quickly. Sometimes we may not have time to conduct the research, especially if something has to be done right away. I know that happens a lot to me, even on the personal side. Like, I'm like, gosh, I didn't have enough time to vet it, but I got to do something. So we know that that's a possibility that can happen. And if it can happen on the personal side, it could happen on the business side. But why not plan for that possibility ahead of time? And if you already know what the practice is for you to figure out something, for you to do your research on something, for you to vet something before you just say yes to what somebody else is proposing, you're already going to have a comfort level, and you're probably going to be able to do it a lot quicker because you've had practice at the ground level. Amen. Tony Gaskin says at the bottom of page 137, learn every aspect of your business and then move up the ladder. So if you are just starting your dream, come on, y'all, we at the bottom. If you're just starting your dream, you literally have to learn every aspect of your business, and even think about what it's going to take at the grand scheme of things to move yourself up the ladder. Because when you move up the ladder, that may mean that you're no longer going to be doing some of the things that you were doing before, but you will still have an ability to oversee what somebody else was doing because you did it before. Amen. I remember one of my coaching programs. This was a while ago. This was the very first business coaching program I had ever done. This was on Lisa Nichols' campus, Motivating the Masses. I was in a program called Business Academy, and I went into Business Academy for something completely different. I went in there trying to grow my network marketing business. Lord, now that I think about it, I don't know what I was thinking. But I went in there for network marketing, and I told you guys how we went around for introductions, and I was sharing with them how much I love helping people with their budgets and and it just gets me so excited. And I was just talking about, how fulfilling it is for me. And because they ask you all these things like what you do and then why you're here and all of that. So I ended up explaining all that. I said, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because of X, Y, and Z. Now I'm talking about my network marketing business. And the coach at the time, she was like, hold up. She was like, your face lit up when you started talking about how you love helping people and what you do and And, she was like, maybe that's what you need to be doing. And then she did a poll in the class. She was like, she said something along the lines of, who would pay to have someone help them eliminate their debt or get out of debt or something like that? And everybody raised their hand. And then she was like, this is probably what you need to be doing. And it never dawned on me to think of that as a business. And so because that idea was planted and it was true, I was so passionate about it, and I was doing it anyway. I wasn't charging, but I was doing it anyway. I was literally coaching people the whole time. And it didn't dawn on me. Then I got so excited because I got the name. And then I started like, oh, well, I don't want anybody else to take the name. So let me hurry up and trademark it, or let me hurry up and do this, or let me hurry up and do that. Everything was done out of haste because I was so excited in the moment, even though in that program, it literally helped me like map everything out because I did a whole business plan and robust business plan and everything. She even gave me kudos on the business plan. She was like, girl, this business plan is phenomenal. Can I share it with the group? And all of that stuff just came off the cuff, like literally by me responding to questions. I built out my whole business plan, and it was like 30 something pages. And I did it within like a couple of days, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, she gave me feedback, and she was like, but this is great, but think about this and add this in and address this and She was like, this is phenomenal. But it was rushed. And one of the things that I learned in that coaching program, because we literally get taught the foundational principles of when you start your business, the mindset that you need to have, the frame of reference that you need to have. And I literally did an exercise where I created like an org chart. Like, if my company were to be as big as I want it to be, how many people will I need? And what will the roles need to be? Like, what level of service would I be? So I literally wrote out job descriptions. Did the org chart. I wrote out job descriptions, expectations, all of that. So literally I have a full like back office expectation of what each role would encompass, essentially because that was the role that I had been doing all along anyway. So there is truth in what Tony is saying about doing the work at the ground level, because when you do the work at the ground level, you're going to know what's going to be necessary for your business. And you're going to know what that role is going to entail if it's even needed. And it can also help you with saying, okay, that's not even necessary. I may not even need it. This is like a small task. I can get a virtual assistant or somebody to do that to help with cutting costs. So that was powerful. He said, when you start a company, you should be the intern, you should be the assistant, you should be the business manager, you should be the CEO, you should be the president, and so on. He says, even if you don't hold all of those titles, you have to know what every part does, or else you can be taken advantage of. He continues on by saying, it's great to have smart and capable people around you, but you have to know what their work entails. You have to know what their work entails. You don't need to know every detail, but you absolutely need to know the basics. Because you don't want to get taken advantage of. Amen. You don't want to get taken advantage of. Acacia says raggedy subcontractors and outsourcing work. Yes. Yes. And he gave prime examples of the last chapter that we read about the organic brand, how people, those big celebrity names, they weren't running their own social media platforms. They hired people to do it. So the people that they hired were the ones that were stealing Tony Gaskin's content and posting it on these people's profiles. But the people whose profile it was didn't even know, because they weren't even tweeting. They was delivering conferences. They was teaching on stages. And they were not tweeting in that moment, but tweets were going out on their behalf. I told y'all people be stealing. So raggedy subcontractors and outsourcing work. And people claim that they can do a job, but they don't have the originality for it. And they go and take from other people, and they get paid thousands of dollars to take from other people. And the people who's paying them may not even know. May not even know that that is plagiarized work that they're now putting on their platform, that they're now putting on their website. Come on. Come on. He continues on by saying on page 138, maybe you check for the first 3 months to see if everything is up, and then you stop checking because the trust has been built. So he's basically saying that, you know, there's millionaire people, there's people who's making a lot of money, they have this team and they feel like they can trust people. So people are making payments on their behalf, they're signing contracts for them, they're negotiating all of their deals, and they're just letting them know when to show up. And he's basically saying, when you're new in this thing and you feel like you're on the rise, and you feel like you're on the climb, and you're having all of this visibility, you'll probably check stuff for the first couple of months, and then you'll be like, okay, they got it. And you let them run their course and do whatever they want to do without checking anything, because you felt like that trust was there. So remember what I said before, the auditing, this is something that I learned in auditing when I first started auditing. And this was something that my supervisor at the time said to me: always trust but verify. And that has stuck with me from the moment I started in workforce. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. I need the source. If you don't have the source, then I'm not going to believe it. Show me where it comes from a credible source. Show me your supporting documentation. Show me your numbers. I wrote at the top of the margins on this page, don't stop checking just because the trust has been built. So whatever that needs to mean to you, don't stop checking because the trust has been built. He says further down, he gave a whole strategy on the middle of page 138 as well. But he said, to be honest, we have more than enough time to run our brands if we use our time wisely. You know, this cut me deeply. He said, God doesn't make mistakes, so he made enough time in a day. You just have to utilize the time wisely. He says it's not the time. He said it is not that the time is short. It's your management skills. Ouch! Tony Gaskin stepped all over my toes with that one. He stepped all over my toes with that one. He says, I've been hands-on in my brand since day one. Yes, I've delegated authority, but only certain tasks that I can't be taken advantage of. So the only tasks that he delegates are the ones where he won't be manipulated, are the ones where he won't be taken advantage of, are the ones where people won't have an opportunity to get over on him. So before you delegate, you may want to run that check to see, can somebody take advantage of me if I give them this? If I have no visibility, if I have no sign off, no oversight, no nothing. He says, if you're caught up in thinking of ways of how to get out of work, then you are in the wrong line of work. I'm going to repeat that. If you're caught up thinking of ways how to get out of work, then you are in the wrong line of work. People say you need more time to create, and they are right. You could have a creative day or days if you need to, but you also need time to pay attention to the work being done in your brand or in your company. So we are striving for greater and better, but we have to remember that we have to stay involved in some way, shape, or form. Because the minute you are seen as nonchalant, the minute that you are seen as not checking, somebody gonna run circles around you. And you ain't even gonna catch it. Why? Because you're not even looking at nothing. That's why. Tony Gaskins, this is the quote of the day. Let me put that up. I think I kind of split the quote of the day up in two ways. Did I pass it? It was on 138. It's when you're complacent when you get taken advantage of. Where was that at? Oh, I did circle it. I didn't finish reading it when I read it the first time. He says, well, it's when you get complacent that you get taken advantage of. This is on page 138. And then the other piece of the quote comes from page 139, where he says, you can't delegate your destiny. You have to get in there and you have to do the work. So you cannot delegate your destiny 100%. You got to get in there and doing the work. He says that any mistakes that are made are a reflection back on you. He continues on by saying that he can live with his mistakes, but he can't live with someone else's mistakes. He says, I remember delegating my email list to an educated Wake Forest graduate, and there were typos in my email blast. There were words left out and key messaging missing. Tony Gaskins continues on by saying, humans makes mistakes. If I'm going to have to write the email for my staff, then why not hit send? Can we talk about something for a minute? Because sometimes we hire people to do a specific thing or job or whatever. I've seen this a lot, especially like with marketing and branding and stuff like that. And again, I understand because they want to be able to have your voice or use your voice kind of when they're creating content on your behalf. But if you have to literally write all of the copy or write all of the content that you're planning to put out, why not just put it out yourself? Why pay somebody $10,000 when you got to give them all of the verbiage anyway? What sense does that make? What sense does that make? You paying them $10,000 to do what? You paying them $500 a month to do what? The same level of effort that you're taking to send it to them, you can put it in a scheduler, you can put it in a calendar, and you can copy and paste and hit send yourself, and it'll only take you less than a minute to do that. So the only way that I would see where it will make sense to pay somebody to do something like that is if they have to come up with the copy themselves and they don't have to ask me for any verbiage. But then you run the risk of them doing the very thing that kind of came up in this book, where people take other people's content and then deliver it like they wrote it or like they made it or that they created it, and then they giving it back to you and you paying them for stolen work. That's the risk. That's the risk. So the only way to kind of refrain from that risk and making sure that you're staying true to originally what you're saying, or not being able to be, not being called out for plagiarizing or copying or whatever the case may be, you might as well just write it yourself, because you know that you wrote it. You know that it came from you. You know that it's your words. So he said, instead I have email answering hours, I have social media hours, and I have creative hours. He said, there is time for everything. That gives me variety in my work. He says, every time I think of turning my email over to an assistant, I get an email that reminds me why I can't. He says, I've turned it over to an assistant before, but the assistant has had to call me and ask me how to reply to the email. That's the same thing. If I have to tell you what to say back, I might as well look at the daggone email and respond to it myself instead of paying you to go through it. So this is one of the things that can help us when we are thinking of our brands and the business that we're building, like thinking about the cost benefit, the cost versus the benefit. What is the benefit, the value add of the expense that you're paying for? And is there really one? Is there really one? What is the return that's being generated as a result of that expense? And is it really freeing up time for you? Or is it really costing you more time and you're paying somebody to do something that you could have ultimately done yourself? So just something to think about. Every business owner here, I'm going to say this before we close out. I want to encourage everybody to operate from a budget. And even if you don't know what your business idea is, craft the budget for it. One of the things that we had to do when we were creating our business plan, we had to create 5-year projections. How much did we expect that we were going to spend in the first year? Because, your first year is your startup costs. You have to get the company established. You got to pay for lawyers, and depending on how you're getting your stuff set up. All of this stuff costs money. Business startup costs plus operational costs, and then plus training costs. And if you, whatever it is, whatever you feel like you need for whatever it is that you're building, plus, of course, hoping that you considering how much you want to be able to get paid And if you plan on having employees, payroll, you're going to have to pay payroll taxes. So you got to be able to get in enough money to cover payroll, not only to pay the people, but to pay the taxes that's associated with that. So really think about the cost. Like, how much is it going to cost you in year 1 of the operations? How much would it potentially cost you in year 5 of operations? How much will it potentially cost you in year 10 of operations? So that way you can really be able to see how are you going to get the money to make sure that these expenses are covered. So your business operations, meaning whatever it is that you are selling inside of your business, has to have a strategy and a way to bring in that money to cover those costs, or else your business is going to fail because you're not going to be able to afford to keep it up. So establish a budget. That was the point I was trying to make. Do your projections and create a budget for your business. Tony Gaskins began to talk about the automation with social media. And one of the reasons why he liked to be hands-on, because something major could happen in the world and posts are already scheduled to go out, and your post could have no regard of what's happening in the world. So what he's saying is you can't influence and impact people if you're not feeling what they are feeling and responding to it. So if something major happens in the world, basically Tony is like, I want to be able to put something out that can speak to that. So I know for me, I schedule my stuff out. Like my community posts, for the most part, they are fully scheduled. They are fully scheduled. So if something goes on in the world, that post still going out at 9 o'clock. And whatever that message is, it's going to be what that message is. And if it's something that I want to address, then yeah, of course, I could put out another post at any time, or I can do a video or something to address it. But for me, scheduling works better for me. And I know that, you know, it's just inspiration. So it's a takeaway either from my morning reflection time, or it's something that reading from a book, you know, like what we're doing now, a quote from something that I'm reading. So yeah, my stuff is scheduled. But I get what he's saying. Because it can seem insensitive if you're just scheduling stuff out and not even addressing anything that may be going on in the world. So he made a valid point there. So I get it. He says another problem with letting someone run your social media is that they will eventually get lazy and they will repurpose other people's content. Page 141. Exactly, because that's what happened to him. We're going to close out on page 142. We're going to roll on out. That whole section, I believe I circled because he gave the example around the big shot guy, very high visibility. Again, he had somebody doing the social media for him. He responded to the quote and said, that was my original quote. He said he replied to that tweet and said, this was my original quote. Don't try to pull that laws of power mess on me. That's what Tony Gaskins said he wrote in reply to that Twitter. He said that he ended up getting a tweet back from the person. And the tweet back from the person said, when you mess up, fess up. And he added Tony Gaskins. And then he retweeted the thing and then added Tony and added him to give him his proper credit, to give him his credit. He said that he never got a mention from him again, and he never checked his page either. So he's not sure whatever else he said, but Tony said when he saw that, he said, oh no, I'm going to check you. I'm going to let you know that was my original quote. You ain't about to just steal my stuff and get all these 5,000, 10,000 likes on it, acting like it's yours and it ain't yours. Come on, y'all. I'm still sensitive about when they took my Facebook post and cropped my name out and had like 100 and something likes on it. And mine only had like 17 likes. I said, you got to be kidding me. Oh, it's funny now. But yeah, I always think of that whenever I think about, you know, people copying and taking your social media stuff. So that's pretty much it. He gave the story, and then we close out. So I wrote at the top of the margin of page 142 that this is why we have to be hands-on, because you could hire someone to do something for you, but you don't know where they are getting the content from that they're posting as you, because whoever is looking at your stuff, they don't know that somebody else is doing this. They don't know that somebody else is saying they don't know that somebody else, or someone uses it because it's right here. They don't know that somebody else came up with this, and I don't know who came up with this, but building my empire. So I could have hired somebody. This could have been somebody's original quote, and I could have hired somebody, and they would have tweeted building my empire like it was me, but this was somebody else's when it came from this person. This is why we have to be hands-on. And we may even have to vet stuff before people post on our behalf. Maybe there needs to be an approved social media calendar schedule that'll be ran by you before they even put anything out, even if you do hire somebody. So again, what is going to be your process to check them? Because checking them is a part of being hands-on, because it's putting a control in place, right? So our reading assignment for tomorrow, we're going to end up reading to close out chapter 11, the hands-on strategy. So we'll be reading from page 143, and we'll go all the way up to 150, and that will allow us to close out chapter 11. So we have been moving right along with our readings. I'm really hoping that this is stirring up some things in your mind. Like, let me know, like, what's coming up for you as you read our assigned readings, and what's coming up for you as we have conversations to debrief what we've read and what has come up for us. Hopefully you guys have been journaling and just taking notes of the things and the ideas that have been coming up for you, because it's really going to come into play and really going to come into practice if you're willing to join us on Saturday for our Design With Me live stream. So it's going to be a working session where we're actually going to begin to design what we want our dream to be, like really design the plans around that dream. So hopefully something has sparked for you, and we can begin to put that idea to work inside of the working session. And we're not allowing that seed that may have been planted in us as a result of reading this book and allowing it to sit in park, or allowing it to sit idle, or allowing it to be at a stoplight for 17 hours, or allowing it just to sit in neutral. We got to be willing to go to the next level a little bit. Just go a little 5-10 miles per hour. You can get to 10 miles per hour inside of the Design With Me working session, and begin to put the plan in play and to think it through all the way before you jump in. Because I know that's what I'm going to be using it for. Because that idea that the Lord dropped on me, I'm finna plan that joker out come Saturday. You hear me? Q Scott says assignment is 143 to 150. Yes, thank you so much for dropping the page assignments for tomorrow. Make sure that you guys get that in. Get that in. Coach Sheena's here. Hi, Coach Sheena. Welcome on into this room. I'm so glad that you are here. Coach Sheena says, thanks so. Sparks are flying. Come on, Coach Sheena. Sparks are flying. I hope a spark that's flying is a children's book, because I can show enough see you and hear you writing one. Come on, somebody. Let's go. Let's go. Acacia said, let's go. Let's go, Coach Sheena. Let's go. Acacia also says, if you need one-on-one coaching, feel free to book a session right on here, sophiamelonē.com/products/1-1-coaching. Come on, y'all. You better get booked in before my calendar shut down, because September is coming, and that is my peak season. Come on. Tracy Ann says, so I got my tote bags today. Yay! Tracy Ann got a tote bag today. If you want to know which tote bag she got, it's actually the shirt that I'm wearing. Look, you guys. My financial prosperity awaits me. So the My Financial Prosperity Awaits Me is one of the lines that's under the Debt Demolisher collection. If you have not noticed, the Debt Demolisher TV does now have a shop tab. So if you want a shortcut to all of the DDTV paraphernalia, you can go right on over to the YouTube page, Debt Demolisher TV's YouTube page, tab over to the shop tab. Or if you're watching an uploaded video, this is something that I learned to you guys. Let me just share this real quick. So if you watch a video that I've actually uploaded onto YouTube, then some of the product features from the store will show up at the bottom of the screen. What I learned while speaking to Peaceful Love, because Peaceful Love brought this to my attention. Shout out to Peaceful Love. On today, on today, on today. Let's go. Peaceful Love. Refreshing Streams podcast. She dropped a good one the other day too, you guys. So if you missed Refreshing Streams podcast drop, make sure that you go back and check it out because it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. But Peaceful Love had brought something to my attention. And she was like, I don't see she said, I was watching the replay, but I don't see the store. I don't see your items on the bottom. Like, what happened? And I said, oh, well, maybe because with my live streams, because I guess I don't have a lot of subscribers or whatever, but my live stream, it takes a while to process. Meaning, once we end this live stream, it's really not going to be visible per se, like with the chat, with the chat replays and all of that. It's going to be processing. So it's not going to be as a finished stream. So I thought it was that. I said, oh, well, maybe when it finished processing, you'll be able to see the store at the bottom, because I knew that I saw it on the video, but I never tried to look at like a prior live stream to see if it was there. So I was like, oh, maybe it's there. So once the video uploaded, then it finished processing, I went back to the video to see if the store would show up, and it didn't show up. And then I kept looking at all of the live streams. None of the stores showed up. And then I realized, I went to go search and figure it out. On the uploaded videos is where the store feature will show up at the bottom. So for me, I haven't looked at anybody else's. I'll probably, does Tony have his feature? I'm gonna check Tony Gaskins, and I'm gonna see based on his regular upload, can we see it? And then based on his live streams, can we see it? Or I may have to find somebody else's channel that I know has like the store feature at the bottom to see if there's a difference between live stream and uploads with the store showing up. But I know for me, my live streams, the store doesn't show up, but the uploaded videos, it does. So I just went off to explain that. But so you're not going to see it on this, but if you see it on the video upload, if you catch one of the video uploads, you'll see the store at the bottom. But you could always just go to the shop tab. Okay. You can always go to the shop tab. Queen Lisa H says, it really spoke to me about letting others handle your social media, your emails, and signing contracts. Yes, and signing contracts. He says that they can get over if their motives are in the wrong place, and it can also tarnish your business image. Queen Lisa H came in here with the whole anointed word. It could tarnish your business image. It can. Its reputation, all of that. It can squander it. And I firmly believe that's why Tony Gaskins is pushing the importance of staying hands-on, so that that tarnishment is not going to be at stake, or it's not going to be a possible outcome for you. Thank you, Acacia. Acacia added, grab some apparel and support the Debt Demolisher TV collection on SophiaMelonē.com/shop. Yes. So you can find it on my website as well. Come on, y'all. Let's go, Coach Sheena. Come on. Q Sky says, I got one too after the Zoom on Saturday. I'm about to get energetic again on an idea. Come on. Let's go. All right, everybody. I tried to keep this to an hour, but as you can see, we had 1 hour and 24 minutes, but we're getting ready to close out. Q Sky says, I used to see Tony's, so his must not be on. Interesting. Oh, man. But I did get the email from the House of Tony. He got a new sweatshirt out. Says peace is prosperity. I don't know if y'all got the email, but I sure enough saw it. Acacia says greetings to peaceful love. That's right. On today. Let's go. I ain't said that in a while. Let's keep peaceful love lifted up. She has been busy and she has been being blessed. So don't think that. I know peaceful love hasn't been in the live streams, but she's definitely watching the replays, and she has a valid reason why she can't be here in the evenings. Lord be a fence and be a blessing all at the same time. The Lord is moving. Amen. Uses more energy to think of how to get out of work than it is to just do the work. Come on, Q Scott. Come on. Queen Heart says 100. Come on. Frequently spot check. Yes, spot check. Come on. Building your dream to become the CEO of your own business. Check out Tony Gaskin's book, The CEO of Me, 31 Life Lessons. What the heck? I ain't hear about this book. When did this book come out? Oh my goodness. Is this new? Okay, thank you for dropping that link, because I'm sure I'm going to click on that because I did not know about this one. Shout out to Q Scott for dropping another Tony Gaskin's book release. I did not know about this one. It's on goodreads.com. Let's all check that out. Amen. And thank you so much, Acacia, for dropping the budget template, the My Budget Outline template. It's available on my website as well. All right, everyone, we're going to do our design with me on Saturday. We're going to come back tomorrow. I want to remind you guys that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. You already know what I'm going to tell you to do. 9 a.m., look for the community post for the quote card of the day and a reminder, the reading assignment. We're reading 143 to 150 for tomorrow, and then you'll get the quote of the day. All right, everybody. Your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. You already know what I'm going to tell you to do. And that's what? Get to work. Thank you, guys. Shout out to the moderators, Acacia and Q Scott. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you, each and every one of you, for joining tonight's live stream. I love you dearly, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia